Good morning, everyone. My name is Christian Gaucher, and I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions for Mississippi College School of Law. I've had the honor and the privilege to welcome all of the family and friends this morning to MC Law's official commencement ceremony for the graduating class of 2022. We are all, yes, give them a round of applause. We are all extremely proud of each and every individual who has worked so hard and diligently over these past 3 years to be where they are today. You've made it. So before we get started, there are some housekeeping rules that I'm going to ask you to remember, and I'm going to ask that we would respectfully follow these throughout the duration of the ceremony today. So first, we would ask that cell phones would now be turned off and silenced. We would ask that there would be no flash photography throughout the duration of the ceremony. We would ask that you would hold your applause and or screaming throughout the duration of the ceremony until the last individual is recognized and awarded. The bathrooms are located in 2 different locations. So you have the men's restroom located in the back down the steps. You have the women's to the right, down the steps. And over here to my right, the men's. And over here out the doors to my left are the women's. So there will also be a reception to follow today's ceremony. It will be held in the fellowship hall on the 1st floor. You will exit out the doors to my left, out these doors, and you will either proceed down the elevator or the steps, and that's where the reception will follow. We would ask that family and friends would remain seated until after the recession of the stage party, the faculty, and all of our graduates have exited the sanctuary first. If there are any other questions this morning, please feel free to pull aside any MC staff member or anyone with the name tag, and we'd be happy to help you. Thank you guys so much.
Good morning. Please be seated. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom ring. My native country, the land of the noble free, thy name I love. I love thy rocks and rills, thy woods and templed hills. My heart with rapture fills like that above. Let music swell the breeze and ring from all the trees sweet freedom's song. Let mortal tongues awake, let all that breathe partake, let rocks their silence break, the sound prolong. Our Father God, to thee, author of liberty, of thee we sing. Long may our land be bright with freedom's holy night. Protect us by thy might, great God above.
Let us pray together. Our Father in heaven, we praise you for, as your word tells us, that every good and perfect gift is from above and comes from the Father of lights, with whom there is no shadow of turning. We thank you and we praise you for this good day. Father, I thank you for these graduates who sit here in front of me and for the endurance that you have given them, for the wisdom and learning that you have provided for them. We thank you for the people, the professors, the mentors, those who have encouraged them, family members, friends who have helped them along this path that you have for them. And Father, I pray your blessing on them. May they know the heart of Jesus. May they know your wisdom. May they know your perfect courage. May they understand true justice, which comes from you. Pray that you'll bless them in their endeavors as they move from this point and as they begin their careers, and use them as instruments of your light in this world in which we live. We thank you for the Mississippi College School of Law. We thank you for Dean Bennett and her wonderful years of service here. Pray your blessing on her. Pray your blessing on this administration and this faculty. And Father, again, we bow before you, giving you thanks, for we recognize that all of these gifts are gifts of your grace. So thank you for loving us. Thank you for bestowing your gifts of grace upon us. And most of all, we thank you for Jesus Christ, who not only is our Savior, but also is our great example. And it's in his name that we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens. Many of you know that Chip Stevens is the senior pastor here at First Baptist Church of Jackson, has been since 2019. We're thankful for First Baptist allowing us to use this magnificent facility for this magnificent ceremony. Chip Stevens is a graduate of Mississippi College, New Orleans Baptist Seminary, and the last time I was on this stage, I surprised him after one of his services, and we were able to honor him with the honorary doctorate right here. Dr. Stevens, thank you for your service to MC, your service as a longtime trustee, and for delivering our invocation today. To all of you in the audience, it is my pleasure today, my honor, on behalf of Dr. Stevens and the Board of Trustees, the faculty and staff at Mississippi College, to welcome you as family, welcome you as friends, graduates, and others to this 2022 commencement ceremony for MC Law. It is good to be here. It's good to be together in this place. We have been apart far too long. It's good to have the Honorable Judge James E. Graves, Jr. of the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit to be with us today, and we look forward to his commencement address in just a few moments. He will be properly introduced by Dean Bennett before he speaks. Before that, I want to take just a moment and say thank you to the families and friends of Mississippi College. I want to say thank you for your prayers and your support and your encouragement to our students and to the faculty and staff of this institution. It has been a long 2 years. They've taken their toll on us, but we never wavered. We never wavered in part because God never wavers. He indeed leads us through difficult times. He protects us. Students, He has guided and strengthened you. He's kept us safe. He's provided for our needs. So to the class of 2022, I say you've been through a lot, but I pray that you've come out stronger than ever before. I pray you've gained strength from us, from our institution, and from our commitment to faith. God has been there with us every step of the way, reminding us not to be scared or discouraged, because He tells us that He is always with us wherever we go. So congratulations, you've made it. Class of 2022, you have much to celebrate today, and you have even more accomplishments to look forward to. We can't wait to see what you accomplish. We love you, we're proud of you, we're thankful for you, and we want to remind you that God is indeed faithful. We're supposed to be faithful to Him, but He's even more faithful to us. Now, I have one final word to say before I turn the podium over to Dean Bennett. She will make a statement here in just a moment, but I have to make a statement about her before I let her do that. On behalf of this institution, and I believe on behalf of this state, I want to recognize Dean Patricia Bennett. She will be retiring this summer. I want to recognize her for 3 decades of exemplary service to the Mississippi College School of Law as a professor, interim dean, and dean. She has elevated the status of this law school throughout the state and indeed the nation with her expertise and her character. She supported this institution's mission and the vision of this university to be recognized for academic excellence and our commitment to the cause of Christ. She's tirelessly dedicated herself to MC Law students. MC Law students, I hope you know how much you are cared for by your dean. On behalf of the university, I want to extend our sincerest gratitude and every good wish for the years ahead. Please join me in welcoming and celebrating Dean Pat Bennett to this podium.
Thank you for those remarks, Dr. Thompson. I appreciate them very much. But to the graduates, that's the reason we are here this morning. We're here to honor you. You have weathered heartbreaking challenges with incredible resilience. Your uncommon courage and remarkable resilience got you over the finish line during a global pandemic. That courage and strength will serve you well as you go out into the world. You stayed focused and you finished strong. We are so proud of you for your hard work and accomplishments. Starting today, a number of doors will open and the pathways before you will be many. No matter how legitimate your fears or concerns may be, remember your law degree alone arms you to withstand the challenges. As you leave this institution and become a proud alumni, have a sense of duty, and let it be a commitment to a way of life that is dedicated to helping others in your community, state, and this nation. May you learn to serve wherever you are and have strength to be gracious, kind, and considerate in your service. We wish you a successful and blessed life of service, for that is the life that God rewards. Again, congratulations to you graduates. Now, at this time, I am pleased to introduce our speaker, United States Circuit Judge James E. Graves, Jr., with the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. Judge James E. Graves, Jr. was nominated by President Barack Obama on June 10, 2010, to the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. His nomination was unanimously confirmed by the United States Senate on February 14, 2011. Upon nominating Judge Graves, President Obama said, and I quote, "Throughout his career, James E. Graves has shown unwavering integrity and an outstanding commitment to public service," end quote. James Graves, or Judge Graves, was born in Clinton, Mississippi. He earned his BA in sociology at Millsaps College. He worked in Mississippi's Department of Public Welfare for 2 years before beginning law school. He then earned his law degree as well as a master's degree in public administration at Syracuse University. Upon graduation from law school, Judge Graves worked as a staff attorney with Central Mississippi Legal Services. He engaged in private practice in Jackson for 3 years before joining the Office of the Mississippi Attorney General as a Special Assistant Attorney General in the Health Law Division, and later served as head of the Human Services Division. He then joined the Mississippi Department of Human Services, where he served as Director of the Division of Child Support Enforcement. In 1991, Judge Graves was appointed as a circuit judge in Hinds County, where he served for 10 years. In 2001, he was appointed to the Mississippi Supreme Court. He was elected to continue on the court in 2004. He served as a presiding justice from 2009 until 2011, when he joined the Fifth Circuit. Judge Graves has served as an adjunct professor at Jackson State University, Millsaps College, and Tougaloo College. He also has been a teaching team member of Harvard Law School's Trial Advocacy Workshop. As the first African American from Mississippi to serve on the Fifth Circuit from Mississippi, Judge Graves was awarded the Mississippi Trailblazer of the Decade Award, an award that recognizes Mississippians who have shown a commitment to racial, cultural, and gender diversity, and who have represented Mississippi in a positive light. Judge Graves was awarded the 2011 FBI Director's Community Leadership Award in recognition of his deep commitment to working with Mississippi youth. Other organizations have acknowledged Judge Graves' work with youth as well. Judge Graves has 3 sons, all of whom are attorneys. He and his wife, Dr. Betty Ramsey Graves, reside in Clinton, Mississippi. At this time, I present to you Judge James Graves.
I want to thank Dean Bennett for that introduction. I want to express my sincere gratitude for the invitation to talk with you this morning. I thank Dean Bennett, President Thompson, and all who are responsible for this invitation. I especially am grateful to the class of 2022. It's an honor for me to stand before you this morning. I do recognize, however, that there is no one here who came here to see me. Maybe 1 or 2 people. But nobody showed up because I was the commencement speaker. Dr. Thompson asked me a few minutes ago, he said, "Do you remember your commencement?" And my frank answer was, no, actually. I remember almost no details of the ceremony. I do remember that there was a commencement and that I received a degree. And so I expect that in about 5 years, one of your classmates will say, "Now, who was our commencement speaker?" And most of you will have to say, I don't recall. So, knowing full well that you're not here to see me, I know that the biggest task before me is to be mildly entertaining and very brief. And just so you know that I understand the importance of brevity, I'll share with you that one of my sons graduated from a college in the South where the commencement was outside in May, and the temperature was in the 90s, and they brought up a 1939 graduate of the college. And he went kind of year by year, bringing people up to date. And after about 30 minutes, I think he was up to maybe 1959. And so if I didn't know before that ceremony, I certainly know now that the mind cannot absorb what the seat cannot endure. I guess I just want to add, I certainly hope I've said enough now that your expectations are lowered with regard to the quality of this speech. So if you lower your expectations, I'll try not to exceed them. It is, with some difficulty, I guess, that I recall how long ago it was for me that I sat where you, the graduates, sit this morning. I recognize that the trajectory of my life was changed profoundly by my experience in law school, an experience where I learned so much, both in the classroom and outside the classroom. And like many of you, I arrived in law school full of fear and apprehension, but I knew I had come to a place at my law school where I was nurtured, shaped, and molded by people who were committed, dedicated, and determined to prepare me for life after law school. And I have no doubt that that's been your experience. 3 years later, like you, I sat there thrilled to have completed that part of my journey towards becoming a lawyer, but it was still with some fear and apprehension. After all, there is awaiting you a bar exam. And then for some, there is a new job. For others, there is the search for a new job. And so you are still, though, full of hope and knowledge and potential. Your experience has been a life-altering experience. And that is true, at least in part, because of those dedicated people who supported you, counseled you, and taught you throughout the course of this experience. And so I am sure that you want to thank parents, spouses, family members, relatives and friends, all those who supported you throughout those 3 years. So I invite you now to give them a great big round of applause. And then I'm sure you want to thank those professors who challenged you, inspired you, motivated you. And so I'm going to invite you now to give those people a great big round of applause. And then at the law school, there were support staff, administrators, all kinds of people who weren't professors, but who were important to your law school experience. And so I ask you to give all those people a great big round of applause. I want to congratulate and commend Dean Patricia Bennett for all of the accomplishments of her brief but noteworthy tenure as Dean of the Mississippi College School of Law. I have witnessed firsthand Dean Bennett's comprehensive and detailed efforts towards enhancing the goal of inclusiveness, of embracing all members of the law school family, and of ensuring the rich tradition of the School of Law, a tradition of inclusiveness and diversity, and her work to ensure that that tradition is emphasized, enhanced, and expanded. She has provided great leadership. I've known her for more than 30 years, and she has excelled at every job that she's held. One more great big round of applause for Dean Bennett. I do have a theme for the talk, and what I want to talk to you about this morning is happiness, the pursuit of happiness. The New York Times did a survey a few years ago entitled "Lawyers with Lowest Pay Report More Happiness." Now, for all of you who are looking forward to having these lawyers begin to contribute to taking care of themselves and maybe you, listen carefully. Researchers who surveyed 6,200 lawyers about their jobs and health found that the factors most frequently associated with success in the legal field, such as high income or a partner-track job at a prestigious firm, had almost zero correlation with happiness and well-being. However, lawyers in public service jobs who made the least money, like public defenders or legal aid attorneys, were most likely to report being happy. The problem, they said, with the most prestigious jobs is that they do not provide feelings of competence, autonomy, or connection to others, which are three pillars of self-determination theory, the psychological model of human happiness on which the study was based. Public service jobs provide those things. And then above the law, I published an article called "Unhappiest Job in America." Take a guess. That was the title of the article. Well, it turns out to be being an associate at a big law firm. To evaluate 10 factors that affect workplace happiness, those include, and this is what they came up with: one's relationship with the boss and coworkers, work environment, job resources, compensation, growth opportunities, company culture, company reputation, daily tasks, and control over the work one does on a daily basis. And so I'm not here to frighten you or have you second guess your decision to go to law school. But I do want you to keep at the front of your mind how important it is to have a balance in your life. There are three things which I think are very, very important to a balanced life. Obviously, one is the work. I mean, you can say what you want. I remember being a boss and a supervisor, and people would come up when they wanted to go to a soccer game and say, well, I want to go to my son's soccer game. There's nothing more important to me than a soccer game, than my son's soccer game. I want to support my child. I said, well, this job that allows you to buy food for the child, is that important to you? Because it is. And so while work, of course, is very important, family and social relationships are also very, very important. And you want to be careful that you nurture and cultivate those relationships in your life. And then the third thing is your spirituality, which whatever your religion, whatever your faith, or if it's none at all, so much of having a healthy spiritual life is connected to what you do for other people. And so you want to be mindful that in your pursuit of law and all the things you want to accomplish as a lawyer, that you are careful to keep in mind how important it is what you do for others, what you do to nurture and cultivate your familial and social relationships, and then what you do in your work as a lawyer. And unfortunately, I don't think you have the luxury of, like somebody telling me that family is more important than work. I really don't think you have the luxury of prioritizing those three things. You need to be really good at what you do in terms of your job. You need to be really good at family and relationships, or trying real hard to be good at it. And you need to be real good at developing some sense of spirituality. You need to be good at all three. I'll give you one brief example that I think touches on all three of them. It was mentioned that I have three sons who are lawyers. And so at some point after law school, all three of those sons returned home to live with their parents. And I know you parents out there going, but it'll never happen to me. Yes, it will. And so at some point, all three of them returned home to live with their parents post-law school. What I did for each one of them is I drew up a lease agreement. And I said it would touch on all three of those things. So they're all lawyers, so am I. I drew up a lease agreement, one of which was resident will do laundry on a day and at a time, which is separate and apart from the day that the owner does laundry. Owner will typically do laundry on Sundays, hence the resident should make every effort to choose another day. Resident should coordinate a laundry day with the owner. Now that was important to me because if my wife does the laundry and then she walks in and she goes, is this your t-shirt or is this Jeffrey's t-shirt? Are these your socks or are these Jeffrey's socks? I said, I'm not going to take an exam every time somebody does laundry. So all we have to do is do this on different days and clear out the laundry room when you're done with laundry. So I put that in the lease. I said, owner will make every reasonable effort to respect the privacy of the resident, because these people who move back in to live with you really want and value their privacy. So owner will make every reasonable effort to respect the privacy of resident and to avoid disrupting the resident's quiet enjoyment of the premises. In that connection, cell phone usage between owner and resident may be appropriate even when both owner and resident are on the premises. But the most important clause that I included in my lease was, love and happiness shall be shared throughout the premises at all times. And that was in the lease. The Declaration of Independence says that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is a worthy pursuit. And so now for my sage advice, and I am drawing to a close, but my father is a Baptist preacher. And so you know that when a preacher says, I'm closing, that's an aspiration. So we'll see how I do. For my sage advice to the class of 2022, I want to encourage you to dream big, work hard, be happy. Never allow your view to block your vision. Your view is what you see, it's what you perceive. But your vision allows you to conceive a world that does not yet exist, but that is possible. And you can make a difference in the world in order to make this world more like the one you envision. And so I just want you to remember, never allow your view to block your vision. You should strive every day to make the world a little better than it was when you woke up that morning. I want to encourage you to handle as best you can what lies before you, and doing well with what you're doing in the moment influences and affects opportunities for things you'll be able to do in the future. And I want you to always strive to form a more perfect union. Now, I'm sure the constitutional law professors know exactly what that phrase means, a more perfect union. As a judge on the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit, I confess I'm not sure what it means. But I like what I think it means. I think it means that even if the union is perfect, that the dynamics are ever-changing, the landscape changes, people change, technology changes and advances, and so that we are always striving for a more perfect union, because the pursuit for excellence should never end, the same as the pursuit for justice, which you are now, as lawyers, uniquely qualified to engage in that pursuit. I want to encourage you to be grateful for our democracy. Reinhold Niebuhr said, man's capacity for justice makes democracy possible, but man's inclination to injustice makes democracy necessary. And so your work, wherever you are, whatever you do, is going to involve at least the pursuit of justice. And I hope you keep that too at the very front of your mind. It was George Will who said that the business of America is not business. Neither is it war. The business of America is justice and securing the blessings of liberty. And so I want you to remember that you have a unique place in that noble, worthy pursuit. And then I want to end, and I mean it this time, I want to end with the words of this poem, because I know that in the course of human events, you're going to be confronted with obstacles, doubters, naysayers. And so I want to encourage you to remember the words of this poem, and I'll end with this. People are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some false friends and some true enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and frank, people may cheat you. Be honest and frank anyway. What you spend years building, some could destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough, but you should give the world the best you have anyway. You see, in the final analysis, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. Congratulations and Godspeed.
Will the graduates please stand? President Thompson, these students have completed all the requirements for a Juris Doctorate degree from Mississippi College School of Law. With the approval of the faculty, I recommend them to you this morning for the awarding of the degree each has earned.
Thank you, Provost Elder. It's upon your recommendation and with the approval of the faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Mississippi College, I hereby confer on these candidates the Doctor of Jurisprudence degree. That is the degree for which they are qualified with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining. Now, if the candidates will come forward, we will present them with their diplomas. The rest of the candidates may remain seated.
Ridwanat Remy Adadi Run. Hamilton Chandler Armour, cum laude. Charles Henry Best III, cum laude. Anthony Shane Blanton, Jr. Allison Melissa Bradshaw. Joetta Hazel Brashear. Jacob Brister. Benjamin Brooks, cum laude. Anna Claire Norman Brumfield. Dr. William Eric Bird, summa cum laude. Amber Blair Kane, magna cum laude. Brianna Nichelle Caldwell, magna cum laude. Rory Virgil Clay. McKenna Stone Cloud, summa cum laude. Caleb Courtney. Sydney Crow, cum laude. Myra Cunningham, cum laude. Jared Cypress. Amanda Lynn Davis. Cynthia Goodwin Denley. Christiana Hefney Doherty, cum laude. Brianna Rachel Drummond. Brennan Joseph Ducote. Stephanie Jo Durr, summa cum laude. Davione Danielle Edwards. Evan James Enox, cum laude. James Robert Dar Epinet II, magna cum laude. Andrew D. Fensky. Michael Patrick Ferguson, cum laude. Jordan Nicholas Fuqua. Jordan Alyssa Galtelli, cum laude. Andrew Joe Garza. Brooke Nicole Haddad, cum laude. Ben Humble Hall III. Kevin Thomas Hanlon. Kristen LaShawn Harris. Derek Blaine Abear. Wilkin Gray Henserling. Addison Catherine Hensel. Christopher Allen Heron. William Austin Hodges. Heather Renee Hudgens, cum laude. Allie Ray Hughes. Katie Powell Huzar. Amanda Lee Jackson. Dayton Scott Key. Audrey Frances Kelly, magna cum laude. Kimberly Killingsworth. Harrison Burton Godfrey Lane. Alexis Lillian Layberger. Lexi Ann Lishman, summa cum laude. Kaylin Nicole Mack, magna cum laude. Garrett Scott Muscagni. David Attilio McCann. Mitch McCauley, cum laude. Joshua C. McSwain. Marquise B. McWilliams. Alexander M. Maz, cum laude. Lindsay Nelson, summa cum laude. Sharon Gann. Nicolette Nixon. Alexandria Lynn Padgett. Alexandria Story Parker. Mackenzie Lynn Marie Parker, cum laude. Zachary Thad Parker. Jared W. Phillips. Lennis Danielle Pleasant. Lena Brooke Quick, cum laude. Amber Rain Ramos. Hunter Christian Ransom, summa cum laude. Hess Richburg. Josie Emily Robinson. Andrew Michael Robison. John Ringo Russo. Therese Tara Samuel, cum laude. John Langston Scarborough. Matthew Leonhard Schlegel. Haley Elizabeth Schultz. Carly Malone Sesser, cum laude. Chandler Robert Sessoms, magna cum laude. Thomas Boyd Shaw. Judge Alexander Shepard. Jonathan Parker Short, cum laude. Joseph B. Simmons III. Jason Ty Smith. Gilly Renee Smith, cum laude. Dakota James Stevens, magna cum laude. Samuel Hampton Sturgis, summa cum laude. William Sullivan, cum laude. Haley E. Thompson, cum laude. Nicholas James Toka, magna cum laude. Catherine Kamola Vassar. Stephen C. Wallace. Jonathan D. Waltman, magna cum laude. Jamie Michelle Wida, magna cum laude. Anna Evelyn Weldon. Gabrielle Celeste Wells, cum laude. Brooke Lene Wilhelm, cum laude. Ford M. Wilkerson. Shelby Nicole Young.
To the class of 2022, congratulations and welcome to our Alumni Association. The faculty, staff, and administration of MC Law salute you and wish you the very best. Faculty, you may salute the graduating class. Thank you. Thank you, Judge Graves, for sharing words of wisdom and offering encouragement to our graduates as they journey into the next phase of their lives and professional careers. I also want to thank you for the kind remarks you made regarding my career as I prepare to enter retirement. I thank Dr. Chip Stevens, pastor of First Baptist Jackson, and his staff under the direction of Mrs. Teresa Saxton for serving as the host for our commencement ceremony. In Jeremiah 29:11 we read, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." My prayer for each of you is that you be clothed in strength and dignity and live without fear of the future. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. May God bless each and every one of you. We have the opening hymn this morning by Miss Jamie Weeda, member of the class of 2022. And now we will have the benediction in a musical selection by a member of the class, Mr. Tristan Harris.
Come on, let's have some church here. I'm pressing no. I'll do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to get my
Thank you, Tristan, for truly taking us all to church this morning. So we would like to invite each of you to the reception to follow this morning's ceremony. It will be held in the fellowship hall on the first floor. If you would exit out the doors to my left and either down the steps or the elevator, the fellowship hall will be on the first floor. Graduates, you must drop off your regalia immediately before attending the reception. You may keep your hat and cords, but your robe and hood must be turned in before celebration takes place. Now, at this time, I would ask that all family and friends would remain seated until after the stage party, the faculty, and the graduates have processed out of the sanctuary. Again, congratulations to each and every single one of you. We are all so proud of you. God bless.